Hi, welcome back to Maximize Your Wealth Now. And I have Moneeka Sawyer, and she is all about bliss and how to live your life that way. And I've always wondered about that until I had her on my WMAX TV show because she has such great energy. And I want to share with you how to do that. And on our blog, we talked about your big why. So let's introduce Moneeka Sawyer in right now so that she can talk to you about the purpose of your big why and why you need to know it when it comes to business.
Moneeka Sawyer has been coaching executives in the Silicon Valley for over 10 years. Her unique approach to leadership has helped clients from artists and solopreneurs to high-tech startup CEOs discover their own personal leadership style and create a whole new sense of power, energy, and excitement about their businesses and their lives. She loves the power, playfulness, and daring of using Tantra to make us all our very best selves. Moneeka teaches how to understand your own innate energetic makeup for improving communications, creating more fulfilling relationships, and being a more effective leader in all areas of life. She is a speaker and author, and you can find out more about her teachings in her celebrated book, Choose Bliss.
Moneeka, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
This is so much fun because Moneeka is a longtime friend and I just adore her. And if you look at my little blog, I went to Moneeka to find out how to maintain that energy that she has, that I see her have all the time, and what the secret is. So first of all, Moneeka, what is the secret to all that energy that you carry around with you?
For me, it's really about having clarity about where I should be spending my time and my energy, because I don't want to exploit it. There's only so much energy and only so much time, right? And so for me, it's really about getting clarity. But then how do you get that clarity? That clarity comes from being really tuned in to what your big why is. So that's how I do it.
What do you suggest is the best way? I mean, I know our why is always within us. And the only way that we can find that out is to look within ourselves. And just an example, my big why for doing my business is I have a mission to teach people how to think with their heart instead of their head. And that's what Compel Don't Sell is all about, is the art of selling with heart. That's my mission. So Moneeka, I'll let you take it from here. For those who are really trying to figure out what their mission is, that would be my first question to you. What is it that we need to do to figure out what our mission is?
Okay. So the first thing that I would tell someone is to write down what they think their mission is right now. Like, just write it down and then take a look at it. And as you take a look at it, like, even read it out loud to yourself, and so you can hear it and feel it and see it, and see what comes up inside of you. Does it inspire you still? And if it inspires you, does it inspire you so much that you feel like you can't contain it? Like, is it that inspiring? If it's not that inspiring, then it's a superficial why. It's not the big why, it's a why. Does that make sense?
Yes, and it could even be somebody else's why, correct?
That's exactly right.
Yes.
Yeah. There's so many of us out there that are heart-centered entrepreneurs that really want to help other people. And we're out there doing these things, and we're talking to all of our other colleagues and people that we know that are in the same industry, and we're all saying the same things, right? I want to change the world. I want people to be happier. I want to help others, right? And that's kind of what we feel like we're supposed to be saying. But for most of us, it's a piece of why we do what we do, but it's not everything. And it's not even necessarily the biggest thing.
Mm.
So I can share with you what my big why is and kind of how I got to that.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
My big why, and it's I'll tell you how I got to this, and you'll know why I'm a little embarrassed to say this. But my biggest why is I want to be famous for being happy.
Oh, I love that. That's really cool. I love it. How did you get there?
Well, the reason how I got there was I kept saying, I see people struggling and it's just not necessary. I want them to experience what life can really be like, what their birthright is, because I believe people's birthright is to have bliss. But people can't get there. And so I kept thinking my why was because I wanted to help people. And then when I went through and I thought, okay, so this is one of my whys. Why is it not so inspiring for me? What's my secret dream? And my secret dream was to have a huge reach so that everybody could see and experience my energy and would want to emulate it and then would seek information, whether from me or from anybody else, on how to achieve that level of happiness and contentment in their life.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so that was great, and that filled me up more. And then I thought, if I went deep down inside and I thought, what is that secret why? Like that why that I don't want to tell anybody, but it's really the thing that I want to experience, and it inspires me when I get up in the morning, and it drives me when things aren't going right.
Mm-hmm.
That secret why that I didn't want to tell anybody was I want to be famous for being happy. I want everybody in the entire world to be able to see me and understand that no matter what you go through in life, this is possible. I want to lead through being a role model, and then I want to share all the tools and strategies to get there. But that deep secret why that I didn't want to admit to anybody was that I just wanted to be famous, and I wanted to be famous for being happy.
So, Moneeka, does that mean one of the questions you gave me to ask was, what is the dream I'm too afraid to dream? Is that the one you're talking about?
That's it. I was too afraid to perceive myself as wanting to be famous because I thought that was all about ego.
Mm-hmm.
And, as business people, in order to be successful, we have to marry our egos and our spiritual selves and our emotions. They're all pieces of us. The ego is not a bad thing necessarily, unless you're driven completely by that. So for me, I didn't want to admit that I wanted to be famous because I thought that was ego driven.
Mm.
But it's that thing it bubbles inside of me. It's bigger than myself. And so that's the thing in the end, whatever it is, whatever anybody else may say, that's it. It's that thing that I was afraid of, but it's the true reason. And I think that's what we need to look at is whatever you may think other people think or say or perceive or expect of you, you have a why that's deep down in your soul. And if you're too afraid to look for it and accept it and receive it, you'll never be able to live it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And I agree with you on that because, I'm finding that a lot of people have a business, but they don't know why they're doing that business. Somebody just told them that would be a great idea. And the problem with not knowing why you're doing it is that you start to flounder because you don't have any belief in yourself. Would you agree?
I absolutely agree. Yeah, if you're living someone else's dream, then you're not going to believe in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're trusting somebody else's dream. You're not trusting yourself.
Right. Now, tell me something. I know this is one of those things that you teach on your little Bliss Bits show, which has actually been doing quite well. People seem to really love it. Would you mind telling our audience more about Bliss Bits?
Yes. Bliss Bits has been such a fun adventure for me. Bliss Bits started as, and this is my tagline for Bliss Bits, it's a place where you learn little bits of wisdom to help you live a blissful life today and always. And so it's really about taking strategies that are applicable and that you can get your mind around, and integrating them into your life without too much effort, without putting a huge amount of time and energy into it, just tiny little bits. And then as you add them in, you fold them into your life week by week, suddenly you're living this life that's a coalition of all of these strategies, right? And you don't even have to think about it. It's about being that person. It's about living that life.
Now, I'm going to ask you a question because I don't know if everybody knows what the word bliss means. Some people think it means joy, and then joy, they're thinking, oh, I have joy all the time. I don't really need that kind of thing. So what does bliss mean as opposed to joy?
Okay. Yes, a lot of people get confused between bliss, joy, and happiness, actually. And bliss is a much deeper sense of contentment and peace and joy than you're going to experience with joy or happiness. So I say bliss is that deep sense of emotional stability and contentment and confidence in yourself that no matter what life hands you, you can handle it. And you always come back to this baseline of feeling joyful and content, no matter what happens.
So bliss is like a knowing of who you are and where you're going and feeling secure within yourself. Is that right?
Yes, and the added piece to that is sort of that emotional stability. That you feel that you can experience whatever it is that you're experiencing in life, and you have the confidence that emotionally you'll always come back to your baseline of joy.
Moneeka, this has just been wonderful. You've given us such great information. Do you have a final thought for us that our audience can take away and do today?
Yes. Always remember that you were born to be blissful. Bliss is your birthright. So go out there into the world and find ways every day to experience bliss in your life in some little way. Just focus on that.
And what would be something that you could do today for experiencing bliss?
My favorite thing to do for bliss, like when you need it in the moment, is to do a gratitude. And I know a lot of people talk about gratitude, but I have a very special way of doing it. Would you like me to share?
I'd love it. Would you?
Okay. Yeah. So instead of just saying, I'm grateful for, let's say, for instance, my home. Okay. I'm grateful that I've got this beautiful home. And, you know, you might drop into that and feel it because that's what you've learned. But what I say is give it 5 lines and 5 opportunities for you to experience it and really drop into the feeling. So I would say something like, I love my beautiful home. It makes me feel safe and secure. It's my sanctuary. And whenever anything else is going wrong in the world, I know I can come to this place and it will hug me with the love and the joy that I have placed here.
That's beautiful. I love that. That's absolutely beautiful. So
right?
Anything then that you feel gratitude on, you could add in those 5 lines and it enhances it tremendously.
Right. And you really want to feel it. Feeling the gratitude is the thing that up-levels it from a regular gratitude to a 10x gratitude. It really up-levels that emotion of bliss and joy in your life.
Wow. Well, wonderful, Moneeka. Thank you so much for being on with me. You've just really given us a lot of insight. Go to her Bliss Bits, and it's on the blog, and show up, and just have a little fun with Moneeka and her guests, and maybe you'll learn something really special. So, Moneeka, thanks so much for being with me.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me, Shirlene.
Until next time, thanks for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.